Hi, it's Brad. Welcome back to my inventing studio. I am the inventor of craft stick bending and a program called Make Tools in Schools. So what I do is I teach how to bend, mold, and shape as thin as plane shavings to make brackets and all sorts of different kinds of handles. And we soak as thick as 1/4 inch wood and bend and mold it to make products. So all of my bending and creations are about soaking in water. None of them are boiling or using chemicals. So I've been doing this for over, let's say, about 15 years. I've been to national science conferences and I've talked to a lot of teachers. I've been in maker fairs, maker spaces. And what I hear is education is not doing enough to teach kids hands-on skills. So I developed a program for making toys and tools. And by doing that, we can offer those skills and the kids can introduce these new skills in their STEM and STEAM competitions. Imagine the next bridge building competition where the kids can make a right angle popsicle stick. So this is a case I've traveled with, and it shows a variety of different projects that we've and show and tell. So if you soften the wood lignin and the fibers, they become soft and pliable and moldable. And then you can make almost anything out of wood. And that goes back, I'm real passionate about the plain wooden wonder and the spruce goose. Both of those applied these same principles. So I am trying to gather momentum, gather steam, so to speak, for teaching what I do and what I've invented in education. Currently, shop classes, if there are a shop, then we are teaching subtractive manufacturing. We take a block of wood, we cut, carve, chop, subtract, sand, drill, take it away. But what if we were to teach additive manufacturing? So additive manufacturing might be considered like 3D printing. However, we can teach students, schools, how to make additive manufacturing out of craft woods by simply soaking them in water, bending them around a particular shape, and creating a product. Imagine that popsicle stick bridge building competition if you're able to do bends and molds and shapes that they're not doing currently. So to allow the kids the tools they need to do science experiments and challenges and competitions, right now they are just using random things around the house to build their projects. There isn't a lot of tools in schools. And so imagine education them how to make their own rulers from a ruler tape. So we start them off by teaching them how to take simple ruler tape. This is a 3M Scotch brand Expressions tape. And we apply it to a paint stick. And then once we go to the basics, we advance to, let's say this is a caliper. You put whatever you're measuring in there, you bring it and stop it right at that spot. We don't always have to make a flat ruler. This is parallel rulers. Forget exactly what that's called. But from the rulers, we make T-squares. And then it explodes into all sorts of tools. So we do small hand tools where we bend the wood to make the handles around corks. This is just a little right angle square. We do make handles for hand tools. These are compasses. There's a pin point, and then it draws. It could also be a caliper. Here's some other calipers we've made. So we've actually bent coffee stir sticks in that shape to make and allow this to travel back and forth. You can see we use a lot of the ruler tapes. In fact, there's some yardsticks. Here's a hammer. It also doubles as a measuring instrument. We have saws. And then we, instead of just a tool, we'll make tools for bending. So here is Legos. We bend around Legos. Whoops, that wasn't really planned on, but it worked well. So we'll do some kind of a Lego brick mold and then bend the craft stick. This one we bent, actually we built, it's still wet, but we built a form to bend the wood around with popsicle sticks and then placed the 3M measurement tape on there and then put plastic tape over it because we didn't want the ruler tape to get wet. The ruler tape comes in really handy because like this L bracket made of metal, we can, if you wanted the same shape every time, you could put it at 2 and then bend it and you'd get the same form every time. This example here, we actually, this is where, if you saw earlier, the micro manufacturing comes in. So if a student wanted to create an experiment or a product, and over again, they could indeed print the shape they want on a 3D printer and then use that as the mold to make the part that then goes into the product. So 3D print a shape, make the mold, and then bend the wood into that shape, and that becomes, the wood then becomes part of the product. You could also make the wood part of the mold and just keep going. Here's another good example where we took large paint stir stick and we bended it at the angle we wanted. Now there is a little cracking going on, but with 2 sticks together, it reinforces it, and then we put the measuring tape on it. So if we wanted to make a bend at 3 every time, or at 1, 2, 3 inches, we could put the stick there and bend it and get the same bend every time. And it also has a nice handle. So I'm hoping to introduce these new ideas to education, and the 3M tape really comes in as the key element to making this happen. Measurements are everything when you're working with wood. So I tell this teachers, students, and parents that we teach the alphabet to read and write. We teach numbers so that we count, add, and subtract, and calculate, and do engineering. But unfortunately, we don't teach much about making in education. And making is everything you see everything that you touch, everything you wear was made by a man or a woman that had a tool or was running a machine. And unfortunately, we have lost track of where and how things are made in school. Actually, made in industry. This is what I call a hanger saw. So by introducing hand tools in schools gives the students abilities that they don't have to add to their STEM and science challenges, competitions. When we can bend and mold and shape wood, really the possibilities are really endless. What I have done in the last 15 years, I've loved to share this with educators, collaborate with larger companies, individuals who have the same passion as I do, to be able to bring all of this to education and get more hands-on making in schools. I'd love your help if you're able to have resources. I'd love to chat with you. Thank you.